Hello, this is Throne of Grace. My name is Boaventura Ferreira. I'm talking about the shining light of God in you today. I'm reading from King James Version of the Bible, 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 6. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 6. It says, "For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ." It says God who commanded the light to shine. When God was to renovate the earth in the book of Genesis, what he did was to speak the word. He spoke the word and the world became renovated. When he created the world, he spoke the word and the world became created. You can see that confirmation in Hebrews chapter 11. It says he created the world by his words. But when it came to renovating human being, when it came to recreating human being, he didn't speak the word into human beings. What he did was he himself came inside human being to shine inside of us. He came inside of us to shine inside of us. That's why I said, the God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, referring to Genesis, is now shining in our hearts. He's shining in our spirits. So your spirit man is full of light. Your spirit man is shining. Your spirit man is full of brightness. He says it's shining in our hearts for a purpose. What is that purpose? It says, "For God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness has shined in our hearts to give." So God shined in our hearts to give. He didn't shine in our hearts to take. He shined in our heart to give, and that's grace. Grace gives. Grace does not take. Grace gives. So he shined in our heart to give something. So apart from the fact that God is shining in your heart, there is something he has given you. There are a lot of things he has given you that you need to recognize. If you don't recognize all these things that God has given you, the day he started shining in your heart, you might miss it up. So his coming to shine in our heart was not just to shine. He had a purpose. He had a purpose. He came to shine in our hearts to give. What did he give? He came to give us the light of the knowledge of the glory of God. He came to give us the knowledge of himself, knowledge of his own glory. So apart from shining in our heart, he came to give us the knowledge of his own glory. He came to give us the knowledge of his own glory, the fullness of him, the beauty of him. So when you gave your life to Jesus, it was not part of God that came into you. It was the full glory of God that came into you. That's a beautiful thing to know. It was the full glory of God that came to shine inside of you. The full glory of God that he came to give you. The full glory. Everything God is. Everything God has always been. All the fullness of his glory he came to give you. So you are carrying God's glory. You are a carrier of the fullness of God's glory. Not just part of it. Not few of it. Not some of it. You are carrying the fullness in quantity and in quality. Perfect quality, perfect quantity. Carrying that glory. Carrying that glory. You see? So you have to understand the fact that you are carrying the glory of God. You have to understand the fact that God is shining inside of you. You are not a mediocre. You are not a failure. You are not an average person. You are a special kind of human being. You are a different species. You are a different species. So he came to shine inside of you so that he could give you the knowledge. So you will be able to know. You'll be able to know. You'll be able to understand. You'll be able to grasp the fullness of his glory. And that fullness of that glory is inside of you. And now he compared it something. He compared his glory to something. Remember when Jesus was transfigured on the Mount of Transfiguration, Peter, James, and John were there. And they saw the brightness of his face. The Bible says his face was shining with the full brightness as the sun. That's the best description they could give it. I mean, when the sun is shining with its full strength, nobody can direct his eyes to it and look at it. So his face, the face of Jesus, was shining so much that when they saw it, Peter, James, and John said, "Oh, this is a beautiful thing. Let's build a tabernacle here." So the glory of Jesus, the glory of God inside of you is something you want to stay with. The more you have knowledge of it, the more you acknowledge it, the more you see it, the more it becomes known to you, the more you want to stay with it. Peter, James, and John stayed. They said, "Oh, let us build 3 tabernacles. Let us remain here. This is the best experience ever." So it's a beautiful experience. But when there was a glory shining on the face of Moses when he was coming from the mountain, what happened? Number one, he didn't know that his face was shining. So it does not give knowledge. When glory is shining under the law, it does not give knowledge. But glory under grace shining inside of you gives you knowledge. Moses didn't even know that his face was shining. It was people that saw it. And the people that saw it, they didn't even desire to stay in that glory. They ran away. They ran away. So that's the difference between grace and the law. They ran away. The law has its own glory, but it's not attractive. It scares people away. When the responsibility of the law comes, it scares people away. But when the responsibility of grace came, Peter, James, and John wanted to stay in it. So you are carrying God. You are carrying His glory. You are carrying the beauty of God. You are carrying everything that God is. And He has come to give you the knowledge of that glory. He has come to give you the knowledge of that glory. Nothing can make God take that glory away from you. Nothing. Nothing. It says, "I have loved you with an everlasting love." So, nothing you do is greater than His everlasting love. Nothing you do can stop His everlasting love. I have loved you with everlasting love. I have loved you with my loving kindness. So, nothing can take it away. The day you gave your life to Christ, that glory started shining inside of you. And God has been doing everything possible to make you know it. God has been doing everything possible to make you realize it. The more you realize it, the more you see it in every area of your life, the more you want to dwell inside of it. I remember the first time I went to church, a Pentecostal church. The praise worship was so much. The worship session was so beautiful. The teaching session was so beautiful. Everything about the service during the week was so beautiful. So much that when the service ended, I felt, "Oh, so you mean it's ended? I'm going back home." I didn't want to leave that place. That's the beauty of the glory of God. So God is shining inside of you for the purpose of giving you, making you to have the knowledge of that glory. God will bless you as you begin to realize the glory of God in you. It's so important. It's so much important. Remember, you are a carrier of God. You are carrying God's glory. The same glory that shone on the face of Jesus Christ on the Mount of Transfiguration. That's exactly what you've got inside of you. Peter, James, and John saw it, but you are having it. That is the difference. They saw it, they want to stay in it, but you are having it, you are sleeping in it, you are moving in it, you are moving around with it, you're doing everything possible with it. So, it's a beautiful thing to experience it. God bless you in Jesus' name. See you again some other time. Bye.